Morning. How are you? How are you doing? Yeah, let's talk about Mthfr gene mutation, which again is polymorphic, which means basically it's affected by environment, So, yeah, Mthfr gene basically affects more or less 40% of the world. So, I mean, it's something that is quite common. And it's very, very common that people that finally get into, chronic illnesses, all this kind of stuff, have it. And the reason why is because it stops the capacity and the ability for the body to detox properly from toxins, especially, which ends up, inflaming the nervous system, a whole loop from hell. Genes are the specific instructions that make you who you are. They are sections of DNA your body master manual, basically, and at the latest estimate. There are around 2,000 genes in the human genome, but genes like humans are imperfect sometimes and often have mutations or molecular variations, but people often use the two terms interchangeably. So these variations can also predispose you to certain health conditions and diseases, cause you to metabolize coffee too quickly or too slowly, and mess with the way your body manages complex biochemical processes, including enzyme production. One of those genes, known as MTHFR gene, can have variations that can specifically interfere with your ability to absorb certain vitamins and detox efficiently. About 40% of us have this mutation, myself included, and it can predispose you to a bunch of different health issues if we live in the world we live. If we were living in a normal world without toxins, glyphosate, pesticides, and so on, we wouldn't have this problem, right? And also, it comes with advantages like being more creative, like, things like that. So it's kind of weird, like I was saying in another video, that many times Lyme people, chronic illness people, are a specific kind of people that usually are more, have more empathy, all this kind of thing. It almost seems like a conspiracy to get rid of us, right? And just leave the robotic people going on. Yeah, just a theory there. So, yeah, what is MTHFR gene mutation? Is the acronym that makes this gene provides instructions that methyl hold on there, enzyme-tetrahydrofolate reductase, the enzyme used to convert folic acid B9 into folate's active form, methyl-folate, which is 5-MTHF. That's where it comes from, basically, MTHFR. What's not so easy is understanding how activated methyl-folate plays a key role in biochemical processes called methylation. Methylation is the powerhouse detoxification production and DNA protection system that almost every cell of your body depends on. It happens more than 1 billion times per second in your body to keep you alive and healthy. And so you can see why, if methylation is not working well, a lot can go wrong. One of the ways methylation can become less efficient and effective is when you have MTHFR gene mutation, because then your body doesn't send all the instructions to make the important enzymes you need. Some research estimates that those of us with MTHFR changes make up to 70% less methyl-folate than those without the mutation. So, types of MTHFR mutations. There are two ways to have MTHFR mutation. You can have heterogeneous, meaning you have one mutation, and homozygous, meaning you have two mutations. So coming from both sides, basically. Uh, and this kind of more severe and will cause more problems with methylation. But heterogeneous mutation can also be problematic. So yeah, this one is going to be called C677T. This mutation involves a change at position 677 in the MTHFR gene, where cytosine C is replaced by thiamine. Alterations in this gene can lead to high levels of inflammatory homocysteine, which is linked to heart disease and autoimmune conditions. The other one is A1298C mutation, involves a change in position 1298 in the MTHFR gene, where adenine is replaced by cytosine. With this mutation, mood disorders are common since it plays a vital role in neurotransmitter function, basically. Again, we would not have this problem in this planet if, again, 40% of humanity is a lot of people, So it's not like we are, or we have a defect. we are just not able to process artificial things that should not be there in the first place, but we would be a lot stronger or the strongest in a clean planet, which is kind of, yeah, it almost seems imperfect, like I said before. So how does the MTHFR mutation affect your health? You might be wondering how can you tell you have MTHFR mutation or many health issues can hint at this. Research has shown an association between MTHFR and things like which are again toxicity induced. All of them, no matter the name, no matter, is the same disease. You're toxic. That's it. And then things happen in a loop trying to save you. So depression, colitis, Lyme disease, autoimmune disease, cardiovascular disease, even bipolar people, autoimmune diseases, autism, lupus, blah 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 blah, which again is the same disease, the whole thing with different symptoms from different toxins. And yeah, so how do I know I have it, or it's happening? Most don't know they have it. It just so happens to be one of the 4 in the 10 people who have this genetic change. And I know this because I got, you can get it tested if you are concerned about it. Again, many people also have it, but it's not causing any trouble because they live in a clean environment or a stress-free life. Therefore, this never shows up. So yeah, there's a test that you can do, DNA methylation pathway profile. This test looks around 30 methylation SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphism, because it looks for DNA mutations that govern methylation. This result can give you a personalized guide to what your unique genetic, imbalances are, so that you can address them specifically. Homocysteine. Most of the medical literature correlating health problems with methylation impairments is centered around amino acid homocysteine, which needs to be recycled down by methylation. When homocysteine levels are elevated, inflammation is the result, and chronically elevated homocysteine is the risk factor for heart disease. Microbiome labs, underlying gut problems such as bacterial imbalances, candida overgrowth, can exacerbate methylation problems. Urine amino acid labs, this lab assesses for several biomarkers such as glutamate, ammonia, which I had a ton of, which can be high with certain methylation mutations. Hair metal testing, yeah, this is going to measure also lithium levels, beta role for mood, as well as B12 transport, and so on. Amazingly, everyone that has chronic illnesses nowadays have these mutations going on, or combinations of them. And yeah, and the reason why, again, is like it comes with really good things, like I said, being more empathic, being more creative, being like really strong minded in many cases, and like so many others. But it almost seems like they want to get rid of us because they know how all these toxins are going to affect, or how these diets are going to affect these kind of people and not others, right? So yeah, so what else can we do? There are many active steps you can take to make up from what your body lacks. And avoid synthetic folic acid would be the first one, which we don't have it that much in Europe, but I know in the US you have like fortified folic acid, synthetic folic acid cereals and bread and all sorts of crap like this. This is very dangerous because, again, if you're not converting it, this artificial folic acid is going to turn like badly, not into you. So be careful with that. Steering clear from frozen supplements with added folic acid is important for anyone with MTHFR mutations, since it's going to become toxic. Be sure to read the labels or anything you eat or take. Natural folate is what you need more, not folic acid. Taking activated B vitamins, you have to check for this and the state you are in, because they can kind of backfire back to you. So this is something you have to, yeah, are fuel for methylation, but some people, which is another chapter, can actually hypermethylate. So be careful with this. Yeah. So B vitamins is a simple way to support this important process. However, not all supplements are created equally. In fact, folic acid in particular can be toxic for anyone with this mutation. So instead, natural folate, like I said before, as someone with MTHFR gene mutation myself, I saw the need for a next level kind of supplements, that create a comprehensive formula with the highest quality B vitamins, including folate, B6, B12, B2, and yeah, betaine sometimes. But this again is going to depend on your methylation status, and in that case, and if you're lacking it, eating leafy greens and organ meats is what you can do the best, like spinach, okra, turnip. You know, high natural folate content is in them. Also, organ meats like chicken liver, grass-fed beef liver have the highest levels of bioavailable B vitamins in any food. This is like the best thing you can do, more than the supplements. So yeah, eat at least 3 cups of sulfur-rich vegetables every day. Sulfur is going to be very important. Uh, yeah, MSM can be a great help here, like I was talking in another video. But then garlic, uh, you know, um, yeah, onions, any, all this cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, onions, mushrooms, asparagus is gonna help. A warning, however, if you are sensitive to food maps, a common food intolerance of certain types of carbs, you might not tolerate them very much. In that case, just stick to the organ meats and so on, which, yeah. So you can also supplement to balance glutamate and GABA levels. No, excess glutamate, which I had, like, I've been like a Chinese restaurant for years, like, how Chinese food, so yeah. Anyway, it's an excitatory neurotransmitter, which means, when your brain can stop and you can stop thinking and you can stop that kind of overwhelming situation, that's glutamate usually. Relative to GABA, your calming neurotransmitter, it's very common to have this imbalance with methylation impairments. Glutamate imbalances are linked to chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. If you feel nervous, anxious, fatigue, unable to sleep, an imbalance of glutamate GABA is commonly an issue with this. Again, underneath all these layers, there is usually toxicity, parasites, mold, and you have to also sort out all these and gut issues, and yeah. There's another one, and also to support the balance, you can also use theanine, carnosine, resveratrol, magnolia bark, chamomile, lemon balm, nettle leaf, passion flower, skullcap root. So yeah, I mean, if you have the right doctor or psychoneuroimmunologist, or talk to them, see what's best for you, and yeah. Yeah, you can also use lithium orotate. I'm talking about the mineral, not the drug, right? Which would also help energy levels, regulate and glutamate balance. Yeah, it also suggests the involvement in B12 transport and in turn methylation again. So, consider asking again your psychoneuroimmunologist doctor. And yeah, but lithium orotate could help improve all this a lot. And yeah, and lower the inflammation in your nervous system, which is always useful. Calm inflammation and support detox. Natural medicines such as curcumin, phosphatidylserine, superoxide dismutase, N-acetylcysteine, NAC, alpha lipoic acid also promote healthy detox pathways, dampen inflammation, and promote antioxidant functions. Yeah. Avoid vitamin depleting medications, that's important. So, birth control, hey, hello, estrogen. Again, the problem with estrogen is that it uses and it sucks it up so much. So, it's gonna cause trouble in women again. I say it in every video, but I mean, if things are complicated for us, they are a million times more. And that's the only reason why I still have some inflammation left. Otherwise, I'll be fine. But that kind of pisses me off a little bit, you know. So, yeah, find the right B12 for you. Depending on your specific MTHFR polymorphism, you might tolerate certain types of B12 better than others. Working with a qualified practitioner can help you determine if methyl B12, hydroxycobalamin B12, adenosyl, or cyanocobalamin is best for you. Manage your stress, which is going to be hard because all this creates like you're unable to tolerate stress like other people. So there you go. Studies show that stress can alter methylation of DNA, which in alter can affect the activity of certain genes. Mindfulness, meditation, yoga, tai chi. Obviously, living in quiet places and toxin free is like a must, and especially if you come from where I come from, and to maintain it too, there's no other way around it. So yeah, avoid toxins. Obviously, people with MTHFR changes have a harder time detoxing from pollution. of a toxic world. So avoid toxins as as well as you can. Yeah, with what you eat, what you wear, what you put in your skin, what you breathe. Many times we collapse, especially when hormones. I mean, the typical case is a woman in their 30s crashing when hormones start declining, the progesterone especially, estrogen flaring, stress, and then boom, all these flares. And then you have to reverse it all back and hopefully not go through what the hell I've been. And yeah, so yeah. So yeah, if you find a functional medical medicine practitioner like psychoneuroimmunologists or any of this kind, Lyme doctors know about this too many times. Everyone's different. No one size fits everything. So healing is a journey. There are no quick fixes at all. You're gonna have to navigate all of it. So so yeah, you need to take the whole situation into account, the stress of the person, where the person lives, the people that is surrounded with, the food, the diet, and on and so on and on and on and more, a lot. There is a lot. So yeah, that'll be it. There are other mutations going on, like COMT affecting hormones and neurotransmitters, blah blah blah. These would be like different combinations, but this is like the main one that is affecting so many people, and the reason why, yeah. Again, I wish the world to become toxic free at some point and stress free, and then we would be the strongest again, not the weakest ones. Or even though we are the strongest ones surviving all this, we are seen as the weakest when we are not. And many times, this feeling of safety that we need is kind of denied, and we need that support system. And also, the same with the place we live and to maintain it and so on. So, thanks for watching. Have a good day. And this is an interesting subject. So, yeah, bye.